Hello friends, welcome back to another cozy crochet vlog. I'm so excited to be spending the next week or so crocheting with you and working on all sorts of different projects. I have quite a few things that I'm working on that are a little bit different than my normal usual crochet projects, so I'm really excited to get to work on those with you, spend a little bit of time with you this week, hopefully relax and unwind while also getting to make some really fun things. So hopefully you're able to crochet or knit along with me and just relax and hang out and maybe even grab a cup of coffee or something. I have my Americano here today. I have been making Americanos lately and they're my favorite thing ever. I have an espresso machine, but I usually just make lattes with it. But lately Americanos have just been it for me. They're basically kind of just like water, espresso, and milk, I think. I don't know, but they're so good. So that's what I have today with me, and I'm really excited to show you some of the things that we're gonna get working on today. So first things first, I made a stop over at Joann yesterday, and you know, I was just thinking about this whole Joann situation, and it's just making me so sad. You know, 2025 has been off to a weird start, but taking Joann's from me is just like off the table. Like I cannot fathom that, and I just hope that is not what happens. I'm definitely out of touch with the whole Joann bankruptcy situation, but just the thought of Joann not being around makes me so sad. But regardless, I went in there and I figured I can do my part to help out, I guess, and I got some yarns I don't normally use. So I thought these would be fun to try together. This is the Big Twist amigurumi yarn. So when I saw the name of this, I obviously thought, why not give it a try? And lately I've just really been liking the look of smaller plushies with smaller yarns. I think they're super cute and they're not something that I really do all that often. And I feel like this yarn is going to be really nice for something like that, just because it doesn't have a ton of fuzz on it. Like I hate when acrylic yarns are like super fuzzy looking. So I think that's going to be good. They don't have a huge color selection though, so I did my best. I also got black, I got royal blue, and then I got orange. What else did I get? I got one more. And then this green. This is just like a primary green color. So I'm planning on making a Paul the Pigeon with this just because it seems right. And I feel like he looks really cute in smaller yarns. I've used Feels Like Bliss to make a Paul the Pigeon before. So I'm really excited to try that out. And I figured I should also get a smaller hook. So I think this is now the smallest crochet hook that I have in my collection. This is a 2.75 millimeter crochet hook, and it's the smallest Clover & More that I could find at Joann, so I just went with it. I feel like it should be okay. What weight is this? This is a weight 2 yarn, so I might just have to make really tight stitches. I don't know. Hopefully that's okay, but we're gonna find out together, and I think it's just gonna be a fun little change of pace to try something new. So that's gonna be the first thing we're gonna work on. And then something else really fun that I've been working on is a pattern test from All From Jade. If you've been around this channel for a while, you know I love Jade and all of her patterns. She's just amazing and such a talented crochet pattern designer. Some of the things she comes up with are just so genius, and despite the fact that I've been crocheting for so long, there's still just things I would have never personally come up with. So the pattern that I'm testing is a smaller version of this caterpillar, which she released, I want to say, about a year ago, and I love this pattern so much. So I made one in the color scheme that I'm using for the new pattern. So this is the one that came out last year, okay? Really cute. It's like a big fidget caterpillar. I probably should show you, but you can kind of move them around. I make mine a little bit tighter just so that they're more durable, so they don't move a ton the way that I put the pieces together. But regardless, I think they're super fun. So that's the big one. And then this is the one that I'm testing right now, the little baby caterpillar. So here's the size comparison of the two. You can see it's a lot smaller, and I really like the size of this smaller one. It's amazing for like quick market prep. These actually go by pretty quick, and one of my favorite parts about this pattern is that Jade included sort of like a bulk caterpillar making PDF, if you will. So I've been following that while I'm doing the test, and it gives you a checklist so that you can make 8 at a time. So that's what I have going on here. Anytime over the past few days that I've been watching a show that like requires more of my attention where I wouldn't want to normally crochet, I've just been making these little pieces of caterpillars. So you can see that I have worked through the first half of the caterpillar. So I'm up to this green color here, and I still need to make all of these like yellow, pink, purple pieces, but it's really fun to just make these in bulk. I've never made anything in bulk before, so it's completely new to me, but I think it's so much fun. So I have a bunch of the little heads and all these different pieces, and then once I have all the pieces, we're just gonna put them together, and I think it's gonna be really fun. And I plan on listing these caterpillars in my Etsy shop, or I don't know, I might save them for when I do a market, but I think they're really cute and just something a little bit different. And I just love how the pieces move like this. It's so funny. You can even have them sit on your hand like this. Just so cute. And then in other news, I've also been toying around with the idea of creating a quarterly wearable pattern, which might surprise you, but I got my start crocheting with a lot of wearables, and my first crochet pattern was actually a cardigan. So I'm planning on trying to implement that, and we're gonna see how it goes. I made a post about this on Instagram, and so many people were so kind in saying that they would love to see wearable patterns, and don't worry, my amigurumi patterns definitely will not be going away, but I just think it would be fun to kind of challenge myself and do something new. So that's something I'm also working on behind the scenes, and hopefully I'll be able to share more with you, but I'm really just excited. And I think it's just important from an art standpoint to make sure that you're doing things that inspire you and challenge you. Otherwise, it's really easy to get burnt out. And you know what? If for me that is making wearables, I am totally okay with it. And hopefully in the process, you might like some of the designs that I make and it'll all be great. So that's the update for now. And I'm planning on starting this pigeon in a little bit here. So I can't wait to see how that turns out. So right now I probably should be making another one of my cave dwellers, because by the time you're watching this video, the pattern will be out, but I'm still in the process of getting things ready. So ideally I would like to have another one, and I'm kind of procrastinating it because the fur yarn that I have is this loops and threads fur yarn, and I need to separate it into threes in order to get it to be the size that I want it to be. But I just really don't want to do that. Like, it just sounds like the worst right now, honestly. And it's honestly kind of hard to separate because then it gets tangled. So I need to figure out a better way to do it. So I'm definitely just going to keep procrastinating this today, even though I have like the perfect safety eyes. I have my Zaddy Crafts pink yarn to go with it. It's just not happening. And you know what? That's okay. Instead, we're going to work on the pigeon because that sounds really fun to me. And I'm just really curious to see how it works up in the small yarn. Now I just need to find something to watch while I work on this. So I don't know, maybe we'll actually play a video game or something, because also very big news, The Sims 2 and Sims 1 are back on PC, so you can get them in the EA app or like on a few of the other ones like Steam and stuff. I've been playing them and it is just so much fun. It is so much fun, but those games are so much harder than the new Sims. I forget, like, you can just catch your house on fire by literally doing nothing. It's kind of hilarious. So maybe we'll do that while I work on the pigeon. I don't know, but let's just get to it. Okay, look at how small the head of this pigeon is turning out. It is so tiny. I think you can see it better now. This is so small and adorable, and I actually am really liking this yarn. Despite it being really small and a little bit hard to work with because of its size, it still is really nice and glides really easily, and I like that it doesn't have the like fluffiness that I was kind of telling you about. I just know that this is going to be so adorable though. It's just so small. I am still working on this little pigeon, and he is just so small. You can see him here, and just look at how tiny those stitches are, like compared to the usual things that I'm working on. He's just so cute and small, and I was kind of thinking, like, I don't know what I'm gonna do with him, but then I realized I have the perfect idea. So today is my husband's first day at his new job. This job is like the reason why we moved out of California, and so he has like a desk and stuff, and obviously they can like have cute things or decorations on his desk. And so I figured I could give this to him today when he comes home from work, so that he can have a little something on his desk to think of me and all of my pigeons. So hopefully he likes it. I think it'll be funny for us to give it to him, but hopefully I finish it before he's off of work. It's currently 1:20 and he's usually off I think at like 3. I still don't even know because it's the first day. So hopefully I'll be done in time to give this to him, but it is also kind of hurting my hands because it's so tiny. So I think I mentioned this is a weight 2 yarn, which is really small. It's like what I knit socks with, and my fingers are burning. It's usually like my sign when I need to take a break is my fingers will start to get like a slight burning in them. That's usually because it means I've been crocheting a little too much. So after this I'll probably be taking a break, but I think he's gonna really like it. He loves my pigeon pattern. It's always funny to see which patterns my husband likes the most because they usually are the ones that end up being my best sellers. So he always ends up predicting them somehow. So the first one that he ever said that about was my Paul the Pigeon pattern, which is what we're making right now. And then he also said that about my Yeti pattern. He loves the Yeti. And then what's the other one he loves? I think it's the dragon that I made in December, the standing dragon. He loved that one as well. So I think it's just only fitting that we give him the little pigeon for his desk, and then maybe I can go back to Joann and see if they have a brown in this amigurumi yarn, and we could even make him a little nest. That could be super cute. But also just to update you about this yarn, I do really like it. I don't know how often I will work with this just because of how tiny it is, but I really like the stitch definition. I think it looks really good, but I just think it looks super clean and nice. So overall, I am really enjoying it. I think it would be fun to do like some granny squares too with this type of yarn because again, it's just, I like how it's not like not shedding, I don't know what you call that, but like when acrylic yarn gets like super fluffy, and I know a lot of people will burn it with a lighter and stuff, but I don't know, I don't really want to do that. Well, I really don't know how people work with yarn this small all the time. It's very impressive to me because I could never. Oh, it's bright in here. So I finished the pigeon and I really love it. It's very, very small. It honestly came out a lot smaller than I originally thought it would be. And if you remember the original pattern, it does have little feet, but I decided not to do the feet because I figured that it really doesn't need it. And honestly, my hands are hurting. I'm kind of ready to be done with this project. I really like this yarn, but I don't know how often I'm going to use it. Like I mentioned earlier, it's just very small. Very, very small. So I think in the future I might need to work with like a DK or worsted weight acrylic yarn when I'm working on my tiny amigurumi plushies because this is just a tad too small. So I like him and I'm really excited to give him to Ryan because I think he is just going to like to have him on his little desk at work. He can just keep him next to him so he can always think about me and my pigeons while he's working. So I'm excited to give that to him. Last night I made so many of these little caterpillar pieces, so I'm making them in bulk. I'm making 8 of them and I'm working my way down the caterpillar. You can see them here. So we got all the way through the green, the yellow, and halfway through the like orange peach color. So obviously I'm making 8 of each piece. So I think today we should just try to finish these up. So I think I technically have 20 more pieces to go before I have them all finished up, and then they're going to be ready to assemble. So the plan right now is to play The Sims 3 and finish working on these, and hopefully I can get through them pretty quickly. They are really nice and mindless, and I'm really just enjoying the process of it because at this point I have it memorized, so I can just do it without looking at the pattern. And then I have my little basket of all the yarn that I have left to use, and then this is what I use to assemble the caterpillars. This pattern is going to be coming out on February 6th, so I think it'll be out by the time this video is live, and I'm just having fun making these. And then once I'm done, I'm gonna list them in my shop. So that's the plan. And one other thing that's really nice about these is you don't have to stuff them since they're all just like little half circles basically. The last end piece of the caterpillar does technically need a little bit of stuffing, like this purple piece right here, and honestly it's so minor that I just used some of the scraps that I have left over from making the rest of the caterpillars. So this is honestly such a great project for markets. I mean, I love it. I'm just having the time of my life. And I mean, anytime I get to play The Sims 3 while I'm crocheting, it's great. It's great. So I finished a ton of pieces so far. I think it's only been like an hour or so, but I've worked my way through all 8 caterpillars up into the pink piece. So now we just have to make 8 purple pieces and string them all together, and we're gonna be done. And I'm just so excited to see all my caterpillars together, and with the mommy caterpillar that I showed you earlier. I think it's so funny. Right now I'm playing The Sims 3, of course, and I'm using the I forget what it's called. It's like the Island Living Pack or whatever. And it's so much fun because there's like hotels and stuff. So right now my sim is staying at the resort by herself because she can. And honestly, she's a diva and a queen. And I can't imagine staying at a hotel by myself. That sounds like so boring, but she's like living her best life. So I'm happy for her. I'm eating Starburst as well. And basically, I saw this really cute couch on our local antique store's Facebook page, and Ryan's on his way home from work, so I'm having him stop by on his way home and see if it looks good in person and if it's still available, because it's like a really nice couch. And I think I've showed you guys, but the front room of our house is still like completely empty. I cannot chew the Starburst. So I'm hoping to be able to fill that up more. I was gonna buy a new couch, but this would be way cheaper, like several $100s cheaper. So hopefully that works out. I'm so sad because Ryan just texted me and told me that couch already sold. It is so hard to find furniture for a house, and especially when you're coming from an apartment. So the hunt for a good couch for our front room continues. Last night I managed to assemble all 8 of the caterpillars, and I'm feeling so accomplished because I just made so many of these, and honestly this pattern was so fun. I didn't really notice until the very end when I was like, wow, I have a lot to assemble right now. I also turned on Parks and Rec while I was assembling these because I just forgot how good that show was. It's just so funny and it just gives me such good energy. I don't really know how to describe it, but I made so many of these. So this is just half of them, and then I have all of these. So I think my plan now is to list these in my shop probably tomorrow, but I posted a TikTok, which I'm trying to be better about doing, and it did really well and people really loved these, so I don't blame them. They're so cute. But I did have a few people ask if I'm gonna be selling these, so I might as well, you know? And I have so many of them. What can I possibly do with them other than sell them? So that's the plan. Here's kind of what they look like. I can't really show you that well. Maybe I'll just hold it like this and then you can see. But I love these. I think they're super fun, and I honestly love just like twisting them around because it's just very entertaining. But I think it's safe to say that I like this pattern. I mean, look at how many of these that I made. If you want to check out this pattern, it's releasing today at the time of filming this, so I'll have it linked in the description for you. I honestly just love all of Jade's patterns. They're all so well written and she's just so talented. So I'm just happy that I was able to test these for her and that she trusted me to test them for her, so highly recommend. It is a 10 out of 10 pattern for me. I just love all my little caterpillar babies, and their mommy is over there on the shelf. I have to grab her. I have so many caterpillars right now. This is the mommy one. I showed you this one already, but then I have all the babies. So just for the size comparison, this is what they look like. I believe I made this one with a 4.5mm hook, and I did use a 3.5mm hook for the smaller one. So there's a pretty big size difference even if you do use the same size hook, but I've just been playing around with a smaller crochet hook lately because I really like the way that it makes my finished projects look. So there they are. I just love all the bright colors though. Like, just look at all of them. And then there's their mommy. She's got her hands full. She's got a lot of babies. So I know I mentioned I wanted to make another cave dweller. I think I need to make at least one more before the pattern releases. And I was going to use the pink fluffy yarn, but you know, I'm still just feeling too lazy to go through the trouble of separating all the pieces into threes. So what I'm going to do instead is make a little neutral cave dweller. And this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to use Premier Little Bunny, and then this is Hobie Toucan in the color number 4. I forget the name of it, but it's number 4. So we're gonna do that because I remembered I have some really pretty safety eyes that aren't pink. The whole reason why I was gonna make the pink one is because I had pretty pink safety eyes. So these are the ones that I have. These are blue 25mm safety eyes, and they're really pretty. They're just very simple. So I think those will look good with this. And yeah, my plan is just to turn on some YouTube, work on this. I'm curious if any of you have played Hello Kitty Island Adventure yet. It just came out on the Switch, I believe, a week ago now, and I just got it. And let me tell you, if you love Animal Crossing, Stardew Valley, and just cutesy things in general, you're gonna love this game. I cannot believe how in-depth it is because it started out as a mobile game on Apple Arcade, so I was automatically hesitant. I thought because of Hello Kitty it might be geared towards like younger kids, but it is absolutely insane. Like the amount of detail and all the quests and everything in the world is so huge. So I started playing that last night and it's pretty much all I can think about. And honestly, it's hard for me to want to crochet right now because all I want to do is play Hello Kitty Island Adventures. So we're gonna get through this cave dweller so that way I can play my game. I just can't think about anything else, honestly. My compromise is probably gonna be watching a stream of someone playing it while I crochet. That's usually how I can get myself to crochet when I want to be playing a video game instead. But I am curious because I feel like I'm constantly talking about gaming here on my channel. I would love to know, do you like playing video games? And if you do, what are your favorites? I just want to know because I feel like I'm talking about it all the time and I'm curious if it's something you guys are interested in too. I know a lot of us crocheters tend to have very similar hobbies outside of crochet, like baking, reading, gaming, and I just want to make sure I'm not just blapping about games endlessly when you're like, okay, Annie, we get it, you like video games. So definitely let me know in the comments because I'm always looking for new games myself. I'm just curious if you guys like it too, as much as I do. Even if you don't like it as much as I do, I just want to know. I'm gonna get working on my cave dweller. Hopefully I'll be able to show him to you today. I have been having trouble getting 25mm safety eyes into my plushies without my husband home, and now that he's back at work, I might have to wait until he gets home to put them in for me because lately I just cannot do it. So far I've made all the little pieces for our cave dweller. So I have the ears, the arms, the legs, and the snout. And then now I just need to make the body. But I realized we also forgot to get a loaf of bread at the store. So I'm making bread right now and the proofing will be done in 3 hours now that I've thrown my phone on the ground. And so I'm hoping to be wrapped up by then. So I think we should have plenty of time because honestly, the body is not going to take very long. The part I'm the most nervous about is putting in the safety eyes by myself because I do not have a very high success rate at doing that alone. We'll see what happens when we get to it, but so far so good. Okay, moment of truth for the safety eyes. So I have these ones in, and what I'm planning on doing, this is usually what I have my husband do for me, is I use my safety eye snapper, but then sometimes that's not enough for the bigger safety eyes. So then we will take this, I don't know anything about tools, I don't know what this is called, it's something from my husband's toolbox, but we will snap it like around the edge and then press both of these at the same time. So I'm gonna attempt to do that by myself and hopefully I can do it. I need to get the backs first. Where are they? Here they are. Oh yeah, also I forgot about this, but I actually broke my snapper. My hand is broken, but I got the eyeballs in, thank goodness. Oh my gosh, I was getting worried I wasn't gonna be able to do them, but I think they're so cute. I really like the blue. In other news though, I snapped this clean off. I don't know, maybe I'm just like oh my gosh, this light. But yeah, I must just have superhuman strength because I totally snapped this thing off. And I did use this for about 6 months consistently and it worked really well. So at least it has gotten some use, you know? I've gotten my use out of it for sure. The main thing is that my cave dweller has eyes and now I just need to finish him up, so. I just finished another cave dweller. Here he is. He is like a little baby with this tinier fur yarn. And then here is the one with the Amazon fur yarn side by side. So they do definitely give off a different look, but I love how this one kind of looks like their baby. And then this is like the mom and the dad and the baby little cave dweller. And he also has the little club with him too. And it's almost like his little rattle, but that is done. So it feels good to be able to check that off my list because I definitely was procrastinating making this. I tend to be one of those people that only likes to make a pattern a couple of times and then I start to get a little bored, and my own patterns are no exception. I just usually cap out at making a pattern like 2 or 3 times before I am ready to be done. And then later on I will come back and revisit them, but now we are good to go for the pattern release that's coming in just a few days. By the time you're watching this video, the pattern will have already been released, but I'm just so excited. I have to show you everything that I'm working on because my desk is absolutely insane right now, but I'm just having so much fun. So I want to show you everything. I've been making a ton of progress on my very first knit sweater. I think I mentioned this already, but if not, this is the Alchemy sweater by Knit California. It's absolutely beautiful. And then this is the little detail that runs along the side. It is just so pretty and simple, and I'm just having the time of my life working on this. So I have finished the the back and front panel, the upper part, and the shoulders, and now I am working on the body. So I'm probably going to be done with this pretty soon, or at least moving on to the sleeves. But I've just been having so much fun with this pattern that I was actually feeling inspired to go back to this cardigan that I made probably almost 2 years ago now. And so if you don't know, I do have my own wearable design. I only have one of them, and it's called the Wisteria cardigan. And one of the ones that I made was with this really beautiful Sorella yarn. This is from the Taylor Swift collection, and this is the color Enchanted, I believe, or Speak Now and Enchanted. And I have worn this all of one time, I think. I've just never worn it because the way that I made the armholes, I sewed them like a little too tight, and it's not like unwearable, but it just wasn't enjoyable to wear. So I have decided to at least attempt to frog it. I've never done something like this before. I probably should do a little bit of research or watch a YouTube video or something, but I've just kind of been going down and using my tapestry needle to undo a little bit of this, and hopefully I can make another one of these sweaters with this yarn because I really love this. I love this yarn so much. It's so pretty. So I think it would be fun to maybe be able to upcycle this because this is like a couple $100 worth of yarn right here, and it's a shame to not be able to wear it. So I'm working on those two things, and then I've mentioned this a few times, but I'm in the process of designing another wearable pattern, which again, it's been about 2 years since I've done that, and it's kind of crazy to say, but I'm working on this with the intention of it maybe coming out in the spring. So it's a very lightweight, summery type of cardigan that's going to be short sleeve, and so far I only have part of the back panel done, but it's this really pretty mesh offset fillet stitch, and I just love the drape of it. It's so lightweight and pretty, and there are just so many good cotton yarns that you can use on this project. And another thing is it just works up so fast. I've probably been working on this for a total of an hour and a half, maybe 2 hours, and I already almost have an entire back panel. So that was my goal with this, is to make something really simple, really quick to work up, and just really easy to fall into a groove with. So I'm very happy with this so far, but now I'm taking a break to try to hopefully get some more frogging done on this cardigan here. I think I'm just gonna have to be very patient with this and keep my fingers crossed that it all works out. But that's just a little overview of some of my personal projects that I've been working on. When I release the amigurumi pattern, I like to take a break to do some of the projects that I want to work on for myself, and then I'll go back into designing. So I'm currently in that phase right now where I'm just working on things for my own serotonin and honestly just overall happiness. It's been a few days since I picked up the camera last because I had some family in town, and I'm always just weird about recording myself in general around other people, but I did work on a ton of stuff while they were here, so I have to catch you up on everything because I feel like in my timeline it has been a little bit. So first things first, the thing I'm most excited about by a long shot is my friend Jenna from Crochet by Jenna. Her book releases today, but she actually sent me an early copy of it, and words cannot even express just how proud and amazed I am for Jenna. Like, from the very beginning, she's been such a huge inspiration to me. She is such a great role model. She's so inspiring. She works so hard, and she's also just so creative. I mean, she wrote her own book. Like, it's just so amazing. I'm so proud of her, and I was flipping through this, and it's just filled with so many great things, like so many awesome projects for markets, and I've actually already made like 4 or 5 things out of this book, so I'll show you those in a second. But if you don't know, Jenna's book, No Sew Amigurumi, is out now, so I will keep links to it in the description if you would like to get a copy of it for yourself. I definitely recommend it, especially if you are someone that is doing a lot of markets this year, or you just really like no sew and quick makes. This book is perfect for that, and I was just watching an episode of Game of Thrones the other night, and I was able to make 5 or 6 little of the mini possums, I think, while I was watching the show. So these are the little ones that I made. This pattern is so iconic. It's one of my favorite little tiny patterns by Jenna. And so I was able to make like 5 or 6 of these within that hour episode or so. And I'm actually selling these on my shop, and I'm calling them my motivational possums. I decided to try to make some cute packaging with a little motivational possum pun note on it, and I just thought it would be a cute thing that you can and send to somebody if you want to. So that is how I am using these. You are more than welcome to use that idea for yourself, but there are just so many cute little things that you can make in this book, and this is just one of them. The little possum is one of my favorites because it's just so quick, and of course it's no sew. So I've made a ton of those since the last time we spoke, but then one of my bigger projects that I've been working on is this adorable Teletubby. So I was just looking for a fun little project to make the other night. I stumbled across this pattern from Crochet by Kitten Girl, and she has a really cute onion sprite that I've had my eye on for a while, and it's basically this pattern. Like, you buy the onion sprite pattern, but then you get the free mod for the Teletubby on her website, but the onion sprite is really cute too, so I'm gonna have to make that soon. But when I saw the Teletubby mod, I just knew that we had to do it because growing up, Poe was always my favorite. I don't know, it's just the red, he's so cute. I don't know if Poe is a girl or a boy. I love them so much, so I'm really happy with how this turned out. I used Parfait Chunky in the brand new candy apple color, and the skin color is shell, and then I used a little bit of velvet for the screen to kind of give it a shiny look, almost like the ones that they have on the show. So I'm super happy with how this turned out, and I've just been having a lot of fun making some patterns that require a bit of sewing for myself. It's just really nice and breaks up the pace a little bit. I love no-sew and sewing patterns pretty much equally. They both have their purpose, I feel like, but I enjoy them both for their different reasons. So it's nice to bounce back and forth between the two. But that's another thing that I did. And then the last thing that I've been working on, and I've been putting a ton of time into this, is my knit sweater. The last time we checked in, I was up to about this point right here, like where this line is, so we'll get into that line in a second, but I'm almost done with the body now. I'm working on the ribbing down here, and I only have a few more rounds left of this, and I really love this color. This is Collard Greens by Arcane Fiberworks. This is what the back looks like. And then here is the front, and you will notice that I wasn't paying attention to the color pooling, and so I have this big stripe on the front. Of course, it's front and center. Like, why could this not have happened on the back? I don't know, but regardless, I think I'm just gonna keep going with it. I definitely should have been paying more attention, but I was watching Game of Thrones like I always am these days, and so I basically totally missed this was happening. And if you don't know, sometimes this can happen with hand-dyed yarn, and usually you can make it better by switching back and forth between two different skeins of yarn so that you don't end up with this kind of pool looking effect. But you know what? It's my first sweater and I'm rocking with it. I think too, once I'm all done with it, I'm gonna be wearing it like this, right? And my hair is probably going to be covering most of it, and once I have the sleeves on, I feel like it's going to get even better. I don't know, I think it's going to be fine. We're rocking with it. So I'm loving this pattern so much that I'm already looking into getting some more yarn to make another one of these. I would love to have one in a solid color this time, and maybe a really fun color like royal blue or something. I love wearing royal blue. I don't know what it is, but it just makes me feel great. So that might be fun, and I know Arcane Fiberworks has a really pretty royal blue yarn. I do really love this though. You know how I feel about my green. So that's everything that I have been working on. And I've also been working on my pattern for the month of March, and I'm kind of at a standstill with it right now. I need to check in with my friends on Patreon and see what they think, because they always can gear me in the right direction, I feel like. But right now, I'm not sure if I'm liking how it's turning out. We might have to do some tweaks. There's nothing that's like totally wrong about it, but I just need a second opinion, so I will definitely be getting that. And then I also have one more thing that I have to show you really quick. So my spring wearable pattern that I've mentioned a few times here and there is still in the works, and I actually just finished the back panel of it. So I've mentioned this, I think in this vlog, that I'm planning on doing like a quarterly wearable. We'll see what happens, who knows. Maybe I don't even do it at all, but right now I'm excited about it, so I'm gonna share it with you. This is the back panel of the short sleeve cardigan that I'm working on right now, and then I need to get started on the front panels, and then it's just going to be short sleeves, so it'll have two really short little sleeves on them, and I'm really excited to see how this turns out. Hopefully it goes well. Who knows, honestly, but I'm happy with how this looks. I don't know if you can see me through it. And this color is Cotton Sprout Celery, and I really love this yarn. Actually, it's almost like a softer version of Lily Sugar and Cream. It's almost like a softer version of that, and that's kind of like all the updates I had to share with you, but you're gonna have to stay tuned for all of those things in the next vlog, and hopefully I can get this pattern written up and released soon. Who knows? We'll have to see. I don't even know if a lot of my audience is interested in crocheting wearables, but that's just something we're gonna find out and see what happens with, because I'm having fun designing it. That's the main update that I had to share with you, but there are a few other things that I wanted to chat about really quick. And so the first one is that some of you have been mentioning that you'd be more interested in seeing some more lifestyle content blended into my crochet content. And I'm really curious what you guys think about that, because I definitely enjoy a lot of things outside of crochet, and this will always be a crochet channel, but I have showed some stuff here and there of other things I like to do, like baking and just decorating my house and interior design, all that sort of stuff. And so I think it would be fun to film some sort of videos that are a little bit different from the main topics here and there, or intertwine them with my crochet vlogs, something like, you know, decluttering my house, organizing, cleaning, decorating, that sort of thing. So if that's something that you are interested in, I would love to hear, because I'm always scared to try new things here on YouTube because you truly never know, I feel like. So let me know if that is something you'd be interested in, or if you like what I'm doing here, let me know as well. Because sometimes it can feel kind of hard, like I don't know if I'm doing what you guys like, and obviously that's all I really want to do at the end of the day, is make content that you enjoy and makes you feel cozy and safe and happy, because that's all I ever really want when I'm on YouTube. So I hope I can do the same for you. But that is my little ramble slash comment. I would love to hear from you at the end of this video. So yeah, just let me know if you have any tips or ideas for me, because I'm all ears and I'm always just, you know, curious and learning and wanting to do better in any way that I can. So that is all on that. I hope you enjoyed this vlog. It was really fun to just take you with me for a more casual week or so. So if you're not already subscribed, make sure you hit the subscribe button so you don't miss any future videos, and I will see you next Monday. Bye guys.